How do you even begin to make sense of, well, the tidal wave of data constantly hitting us?
It's everywhere, isn't it?
Exactly. It's becoming more critical and certainly more complex almost by the minute. But there's a rapidly expanding market out there that's stepping up to solve exactly this challenge.
Okay.
Today, we're taking a deep dive into the Data Virtualization Cloud Market.
Sounds important.
It is. Our mission is to really pull out the vital insights from a recent market research report, give you a shortcut,
Yeah.
to understanding this crucial sector and why it matters.
Good plan. What's the source?
Our source for this deep dive comes from excerpts from Data Virtualization Cloud Market, Global Growth Projections to 2033.
Okay, got it.
And right off the bat, the numbers are pretty eye-opening. Get this. The market was valued at just over $1.2 billion globally in 2021.
Wow, okay. 1.2 billion.
Yeah. And it's projected to roughly double to about $2.4 billion by 2025.
Doubling in just 4 years.
And then it absolutely skyrockets to over $9.4 billion by 2033.
9.4 billion. That's huge growth.
Huge. It demonstrates an impressive compound annual growth rate, or CAGR, of nearly 19%, almost 19% year on year.
Okay, so before we go further, maybe let's clarify what Data Virtualization Cloud actually is or what it does to understand why those numbers are so big.
A good idea.
Well, think of it as like the ultimate data translator for modern businesses.
A translator. How so?
It allows organizations to access and integrate data from all their different sources, databases, cloud apps, even spreadsheets.
Right, all the places data hides.
Exactly. And it does this without having to physically move or copy any of it.
Oh, okay. That seems key. No copying.
It's crucial. It creates a single, unified virtual view of all that information no matter where it actually lives.
I see. Like a single pane of glass.
Precisely. And this capability is a critical enabler for modern data infrastructure. It directly addresses the widespread digital transformation happening globally.
Right. Everyone's going digital.
And with that comes this fundamental, urgent need for agile, real-time, and secure data access. That's what organizations are really pushing for.
Okay, let's unpack that then. That global projection to nearly $10 billion is massive, but where exactly is this explosive growth detonating?
Yeah, let's break it down.
Let's zoom in on the global hotspots, region by region, and see the stories behind the numbers, starting with North America.
Makes sense. They often lead in tech adoption.
They do hold a strong lead here. The market there saw its value surge from nearly $500 million back in 2021
$500 million, okay.
to an estimated $3.6 billion by 2033.
Wow, 3.6 billion. And the growth rate?
Growing at a robust 18% annually, roughly 18.2%.
Still very strong.
And looking closer, the United States is naturally a major engine within that.
Sure.
Its market alone is projected to climb from around $386 million in 2021 to over $2.8 billion by 2033.
2.8 billion just for the U.S.? That's a huge chunk of the North American total.
It really is.
And while the U.S. is clearly the powerhouse, it's interesting, even within North America, the growth dynamics can vary a bit.
How so?
Well, Canada, for instance, shows a slightly higher CGR at almost 19%, 18.9% to be exact.
Higher than the U.S.
Slightly, yeah. Its market's growing from about 65 million to over 514 million by 2033.
Okay, impressive for Canada.
And Mexico is also on a fast track, projected to jump from around 33 million to over 254 million, with an 18.4% CAGR. So
Right.
this variation, it just underscores that even within mature markets, different countries are adopting this tech with their own kind of unique momentum.
That makes sense. Okay, moving across the Atlantic, what about Europe?
Europe's also showing strong growth.
The market there was valued at about $260 million in 2021.
Okay.
And it's on track to reach over $1.9 billion by 2033.
1.9 billion, and the growth rate there.
Very similar to North America, actually, an 18.2% CAGR.
Consistent.
Very. And Germany is really leading the charge in Europe.
Germany. Often an industrial tech leader.
Yes, exactly. Its market's projected to expand from 51 million to a substantial 407 million by 2033. That's an impressive 19% CAGR for Germany.
Almost 19%, yeah.
Leading the pack in Europe.
Definitely. Other significant European markets include the UK, expected to climb to over 292 million by 2033.
Oh, okay. UK strong too.
France nearing 251 million, Italy at 159 million, and Russia around 118 million for their projected 2033 values.
Right. The larger economies are significant contributors, but what's also noteworthy here is that it's not just them driving the growth.
Oh.
We see steady progress in many smaller but promising European markets as well.
Like where?
Well, by 2033, Spain is expected to reach nearly 147 million,
Okay.
Sweden over 103 million, Denmark around 85 million, and Switzerland nearly 97 million.
So quite widespread.
Exactly. This broad adoption across diverse European nations, it really reinforces that universal need for more flexible data access.
It really does paint a picture of widespread change. Now let's turn our attention to Asia Pacific because this region is truly exceptional. Yes, APAC, usually a high-growth story.
It is here too. It's actually experiencing the fastest growth globally, an impressive key GR of nearly 20%, 19.7% overall.
Faster than North America and Europe.
Significantly. The market is set to expand hugely from about 296 million in 2021
Right.
to a massive 2.5 billion, over 2.5 billion, actually 2.56 billion by 2033.
2.5 billion, that's catching up fast.
It is, and China stands out as a clear regional leader there.
Expectedly.
Projected to surge from about 93 million to over 821 million by 2033, with a robust 19.9% CAGR. Almost 20%.
Very strong for China. But you mentioned APAC overall was fastest. Is there somewhere even faster?
Yes. If we look even closer within APAC, India presents a particularly striking picture.
India. Tell me more.
It shows the strongest AGR globally,
Globally. Wow.
an incredible 20.8%, almost 21% growth per year.
That's amazing. What are the absolute numbers?
It's set to leap from just under $37 million in 2021 to over $356 million by 2033.
Okay, so starting smaller but growing incredibly fast.
Exactly. This really highlights India's aggressive embrace of digital-first initiatives, its burgeoning startup ecosystem, perhaps.
Yeah, that makes sense. It positions India as the fastest growing market in the entire world for Data Virtualization Cloud. Really fascinating.
It absolutely is.
Mm-hmm.
Beyond China and India, other key Asia-Pacific countries are also on a strong upward path for 2033.
Right. Who else is significant?
We've got Japan at nearly 409 million,
Okay.
South Korea at about 205 million, and Australia around 130 million.
Solid numbers across the board.
And we're also seeing rapid expansion in places like Singapore, projected for 88 million. The broader Southeast Asia region collectively hitting 208 million.
Southeast Asia as a whole, interesting.
And Taiwan at 107 million by 2033.
Yeah.
So really dynamic across APAC.
It definitely paints a picture of rapid digital adoption there.
Okay, shifting our focus now to South America.
Right. What's the story there?
That market is projected to grow from about $74 million in 2021 to over $595 million by 2033.
Almost 600 million.
Yeah.
And the CAGR?
A very healthy 19%. So, again, strong growth.
Consistent theme, isn't it? Who's leading in South America?
Brazil is leading the way, forecasted to reach nearly 210 million by 2033,
Okay, Brazil the largest.
followed by Argentina at about 115 million, Colombia at 79 million, Peru around 58 million, and Chile at 63 million. Those are all the 2033 projections.
So growth across multiple countries there, too.
Yes. And the Middle East is also showing significant momentum.
Okay, Middle East.
Revenues there are projected to grow from about 58 million in 2021 to over 463 million by 2033.
Another substantial jump.
We're looking at Saudi Arabia hitting around 114 million, Turkey at 81 million, and the UAE approaching 98 million by 2033.
Strong numbers in those key economies.
And the report also highlights fast growth in Egypt and Qatar within the region as well.
Good to note.
Finally, let's touch on Africa. It's steadily gaining traction in this space.
Okay, Africa's adoption curve.
The market's growing from about 36 million in 2021 to nearly 288 million by 2033.
So starting from a smaller base, but still significant growth.
Exactly. Showing an 18.1% CAGR, so right in line with North America and Europe.
That's quite high, actually. Any specific countries?
South Africa alone is expected to hit over $114 million by 2033,
Okay, a key hub there.
indicating increasing adoption across the continent, including places like Nigeria as well.
Right. So stepping back now, looking at the overarching takeaway from all these regional numbers,
Yeah, what's the big picture?
the consistent high growth rates, across vastly different economies, different continents, It truly paints a clear picture.
It really does.
We are witnessing a fundamental global shift in how data is being managed. It's not just a niche tech trend, confined to Silicon Valley or something.
No, clearly not. It's everywhere.
It's being driven by that universal organizational imperative we talked about, the need for agile, real-time, secure data access.
Right.
And that's pushing businesses across all sectors, all regions, to adopt these cloud-based virtualization tools.
So what does this truly mean for you listening right now?
Yeah, bringing it back to the listener.
It means this market, nearing the $10 billion mark globally by 2033, it's fundamentally reshaping the way enterprises manage and leverage their most valuable asset, data.
Absolutely. It's foundational.
So to summarize our deep dive today,
Yeah.
the data virtualization cloud market is witnessing, well, truly massive global growth,
God, massive is the word.
evolving from just over $1.2 billion back in 2021 to nearly $10 billion by 2033. That's just an astonishing leap in just over a decade.
It really is. And again, this explosion isn't just about impressive tech numbers on a chart.
Well,
It reflects a core transformation in how businesses everywhere are approaching data management. They're prioritizing flexibility, real-time access, and security above almost everything else. And this, I think, raises an important question. If this much investment and growth is happening in the infrastructure behind the data,
yeah.
what does that imply for the speed and agility of decision-making, of innovation across all industries in the coming decade?
That's a powerful thought to leave you with. Consider how this profound shift in data management might impact your own industry, or maybe even your specific role.
Yeah, how does it affect your work?
What new opportunities or, well, challenges does this widespread digital transformation driven by these cloud virtualization tools present? How will you access, use, and understand information in the future?
Food for thought.
Definitely. We invite you to continue your own deep dive. Maybe start observing how companies in the news discuss their data infrastructure or their cloud strategies now that you're, hopefully, well-informed on this critical and rapidly evolving market. Okay, let's unpack this. Welcome to the deep dive. Today we're plunging into a topic that's really picking up steam, the data virtualization cloud market. Our mission for you is to pull out the key nuggets, about its dynamics, future growth, basically its vital role in real-time data access and this whole cloud transformation we're seeing everywhere. It's a pretty hot topic, and we'll get into why.
Yeah, it is. And what's truly fascinating here, I think, is how data virtualization actually steps in to solve a huge growing challenge. I mean, just imagine trying to get a handle on data that's scattered all over the place, different clouds, maybe some on-premise systems too. Data virtualization gives you this unified single view. It doesn't matter where the data physically lives. It's essentially a bridge,
Yeah.
without the nightmare of actually moving or copying everything.
Right, and that unified view, it feels like it's becoming almost non-negotiable now with this massive shift we're seeing, the move to multi-cloud hybrid setups. I mean, companies are juggling AWS, Azure, Google Cloud, sometimes all three plus their own stuff. They need that seamless real-time access. But without replicating enormous data sets, that's just, well, slow and expensive, which is why this virtualization as a service thing is really taking off, right? It gives you that agility.
Precisely.
Yeah.
And it hooks directly into the huge demand for real-time analytics. Businesses need those live dashboards, instant data feeds. They need sophisticated AI pipelines for quick decisions just to stay in the game. But it's not only about speed. You've also got these stricter global compliance rules, GDPR, CCTA, IPA, you name it. They're pushing adoption too. See, virtualization helps because it offers centralized metadata and governance. That's basically the data about your data and how it's managed. It makes it way easier to apply consistent rules and track where data came from across all these different systems. Trying to do a data audit without that, good luck. It's like trying to trace, one specific raindrop in a storm. Virtualization brings clarity.
Okay, so it really sounds like a game changer. Simplifying access, boosting compliance. Sounds great. But like any powerful tech, I'm guessing it's not all straightforward. There must be hurdles, right? What are some of the tougher challenges organizations face when they try to implement this? I've heard performance latency can be a thing, especially with really heavy data loads, or maybe in those IoT and edge computing scenarios.
Performance latency is definitely, a significant restraint. It's true. Complex queries, especially over large virtualized data sets, they can slow down, and that impacts real-time stuff. Beyond that, there's very real challenge with talent shortages And just the complexity of integration. You need specialized skills for this, like metadata modeling, designing how data descriptions are organized, and cloud orchestration, making different clouds talk to each other smoothly. A lot of companies just don't have that expertise in-house. And that brings up another point. Vendor lock-in. Is that a concern? Some solutions, well, they lean heavily on proprietary connectors, tied to specific cloud providers. That can make it really hard to switch or even just expand later on. It's kind of like buying into one brand of smart home tech, convenient at first, but maybe limiting down the road.
Yeah, those challenges around talent and vendor choice, those are definitely big roadblocks for a lot of places. But, innovation doesn't usually stand still. So, looking ahead, what's coming down the pike? Any breakthroughs or trends that might help overcome these issues, especially making insights easier to get at? AI-enhanced semantic layers, that sounds interesting. How might they change things for, say, self-service analytics?
Oh, they're definitely going to have an impact. AI is poised to really streamline access, governance, and speed up data discovery. These semantic layers are basically smart translation layers. They help machines understand the meaning, the context of your data. They can automatically tag it, catalog it, enrich it. Makes it much easier for people to find and use. And if we connect this to the bigger picture, we're seeing this clear convergence with architectures like data mesh and data fabric. Think of data mesh as giving data ownership back to specific teams or domains, decentralizing it. And data fabric is sort of the technological weave that connects all that distributed data together. Virtualization is key there. It enables that domain control while keeping things consistent across the network. And also, don't forget edge-to-cloud integration. That's huge. With IoT and 5G exploding, virtualizing data closer to the edge where it's generated, that's critical for cutting latency, boosting efficiency for real-time stuff. Think autonomous cars or smart factories. So if we tie this all together, the Data Virtualization Cloud Market, it really stands right at the intersection of, well, innovation and sheer necessity. It's becoming a core piece of the puzzle, whether you're driven by unified access, tough compliance needs, or just wanting architectural flexibility in this complex digital world.
So what does this all mean for you listening in? Maybe think about how this technology isn't just changing how companies store data. It's fundamentally reshaping how they think about data, how they act on it in real time. It's influencing everything from, your next interaction with a smart device all the way up to huge regulatory compliance efforts. It's transforming business, public services, everything. It kind of makes you wonder, doesn't it? How might having instant access to the right data right now fundamentally change the decisions you make or the services you use, maybe sooner than you think?